Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're having a look at this beautiful 2025 Honda Accord. This being the hybrid version. When I first got this, I thought this was gonna be an extremely boring car to drive with the CVT gearbox screaming on the highway. But the fact is, I actually enjoy driving this very much, and I actually think this design, some people think, I've heard opinions about this design, it doesn't look as good as the previous generation, which had a much more sporty look to it. But to me, this is a beautiful looking sedan, very clean lines and very simple graphics both in the front and in the rear. And we also have, thankfully, even though this is not a high premium vehicle, we still have, thankfully, finally a vehicle with both LEDs for the indicators in the front and also in the rear. So what we're going to do in this video, have a look at this beautiful design from a front, side, and rear, and also the interior, of course. And then we're going to take this 2025 11th generation Honda Accord for a drive. Learn design sketching online with me. My online class is now only $47. If you have any desire to pick up the skill of sketching products using simple tools such as just a big pen and some cheap print paper, this is something you want to check out. Now, over the years, I've taught over thousands of students from all around the world how to sketch cars and products using my simple sketching techniques, and most of them have seen amazing results from my classes. Analog Designer Pro Pack is the full bundle of all my classes I've released over the years, and it's yours for just $47. You also have a lifetime access to all the videos. Check out everything that's included and see what my students have to say in the link in the description, or simply visit analogdesignerpropack.com. The 2025 Honda Accord Hybrid Touring is powered by a 2-liter inline-4, putting out 204 horsepower, 247 pound-feet of torque. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm going to let you know why that actually feels pretty right in this case when we take this for a drive later on. You got an ECVT gearbox. Hold on to your horses. It's not as bad as it sounds. Again, I'm going to talk more about that in the driving section. Front wheel drive, 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. Fuel economy, 46 city, 41 highways. Some impressive numbers right there. Price, $40,895 for this one, which honestly, when you look at the equipment level, which is going to show you when we talked about mostly the interior portion here, it's a pretty good deal. So starting with the front end design of the new Accord, I feel like this was just released. They just released it, but it came out in 2023, so I think it's going to get a refresh in 2026. But as you can see, we have full LED headlights right here, beautifully done, with this nice sharp line right here where everything underneath is where the key graphic starts. I love to see that. One change I want to see in the front end is the inserts for the headlight unit here are just flat black. I would like to see them maybe be gloss black, similar to what we have the finish here in the grille. Lower section completely open. The grille is also completely open. You have the big Honda logo in the center right there that houses the radar for the cruise control settings. And we have these for the sport, for the touring version. We have these silver pieces in the lower section, which I actually kind of like because they add a splash of contrast to the front end design. Now, for me, comparing this to, for example, I would say the main rival, the Toyota Camry, I actually think that this one looks better than the Camry because this has a very elegant look to it. And it feels like the old Accord, it still looked good, but it had almost like, I wouldn't call it over-stylized, but the styling was a lot more aggressive than what we have right here. This elegant look that we have for the new Accord, it's definitely something that I'm a huge fan of because we have all these horizontal lines in the front end creating this wider stance or look for the overall vibe of the proportions of the front. Now, the same chisel lens that we have in the front end comes back in the hood design as well. Look at these two key lines here that has a connection to what's going on in the front, specifically this line going all the way down here connecting to this very sharp corner in the front. There is no real curvatures in the hood design, and again, I think that suits a big, Honda's largest sedan to have a more restrained design, just like we have in this package. Overall, I mean, the front end design, it definitely tells you that it is a Honda without having to look at the badge, and it still has a clear Honda design DNA. Now, when I look at this vehicle from a 360 view, this is the type of styling that I want to see more car companies do. This restrained, beautiful styling, specifically when I have a big sedan like this with the shoulder line, one single line from the corner of the taillight unit right here going all the way forward, stretching all the way into the front end design. We have another line in the lower section right here. As you can see, I do like that we have body colored door handles and the mirror side caps of the mirrors here as well, being body colored. We have one single trim piece going around the top part of the greenhouse coming back here, giving me the overall proportions, giving me a bit, I would say, Audi-like design with a sloping rear end like this. Almost looks like a hatchback, but it is of course a proper sedan, this vehicle. Now look at the wheel and tire setup that we have for this 2025 Honda Accord. This is actually one of my favorite features with the Touring spec. The top of the line is these wheels. Usually what I like to see in wheel design, specifically when I have them like this, is you see this silver piece right here. I want to have them connect in a circle to connect these silver spokes. Now we have this black separation of the spokes, but in this case I'm not sure what it is about these wheels and tire setup. They just look good. 19 inches, we have 235mm wide tires all around. And if you're in the market for new tires or wheels for your vehicle, go and check out my link down below. Tire Rack, I've partnered up with them to give you the best discounts and deals they have available right now. Just click the link down below to get new wheels and tires for your vehicle. All the way down low, we do have these black pieces right here coming around from the front end, also stretching in to the lower section right here. I think this vehicle would look very good in white, because we have this tiny, trim piece of chrome and also the black pieces in the lower section. And I think that would add very nice contrast to this vehicle. Now, coming around to the rear end design, I'm going to say it again. This is my favorite view for the Honda Accord. Even though I do think the front end looks very, very nice, I do prefer the rear end design here. Reason for that is the trunk design. We have this integrated beautiful spoiler up here, almost like a ducktail, not a spoiler but a ducktail ending. It swoops up just a little bit in the very end, and of course we do have the LED full indicator lights here, something that we rarely see in this price range. I've talked about that in so many cars before I've reviewed here on the channel, is we have LEDs in the front end, but then when they come to the back they always put Edison light bulbs in there, but not in this case. And I think it's great. A great decision by Honda to do that full LED. We also have this LED light bar that seems to be the trend of the last decade now. It's starting to get a little bit maybe outplayed, but we still have that in the new Accord right here. Small little Honda logo in the middle inside of this black graphics as well. If we look at this car from a straight rear view, there are a couple of things that I'm missing, that even though I do prefer this design to the previous generation Honda Accord, I would still want to have the visible exhaust pipes on this. This gives me more of this EV look when everything is hidden. You do have one single exhaust pipes on the passenger side that is tucked underneath the bumper, so you can't really see it. And then we have a bunch of badges here as well. A little bit too many badges in my opinion. With the Accord here, you have the hybrid and the Touring in chrome. I would probably, if this was my car, I would probably just remove the badges altogether to make this a much cleaner design in the rear end. But overall, the stance, I think the stance looks great. You have the parking sensors integrated in the bumper right here. And it's just a elegant looking design all around from the front side, and also, of course, right here in the rear view. Now, if we open up the trunk, you actually have a lot of space here. I'm not sure if it's best in class, but it's definitely more than a lot of the competitors here. You have 16.7 cubic feet of space underneath here. You also have a tire repair kit underneath this cover. If you fold this up, you're going to see the air compressor right there, for example. And that is pretty much it for the back. You can also fold down the rear seats, of course, if you need more space. So the space, the trunk space, you can see that we have a typical sedan opening. Even though it might look like a hatchback, it is actually a proper sedan with a lot of space for this type or this size of sedan in general. Now, I talked about the beautiful exterior design, but the interior of the new Accord, or the 2023, when they refreshed it, is also absolutely fantastic in my opinion. It has pretty much everything I want to see. We have the housing for the gauge cluster, 12.3-inch infotainment screen. The integration could probably be a little bit better, but we do have the physical controls for the climate settings down there. Now, starting at the door panel here, beautifully laid out, everything you need, auto up and down for the front windows, beautifully designed door handles, memory seats here as well, settings for, of course, the adjustments of the side mirrors. You have a cup holder down there, speakers integrated in the door as well. This is actually real leather for the seats, and also here on the armrest, which is pretty soft, to be honest. So let's jump in here and check out this interior, all the details that goes on in the 2025 Honda Accord. So we do have a 10.2-inch standard digital gauge cluster. This is customizable in some ways. You can use this scroll button right here to customize what's going on the right side right there, as you can see, and you have a scroll wheel right here on the left side as well, doing the same thing for the left portion of the gauge cluster. You see the battery range on the left side, and you have the fuel range on the right side. The thing about this though, when you fill it up, the range is it's close to 550 miles on a full tank, which to me is just fantastic. I want to see that in pretty much all cars today. You want to fill it up and you want to have this feeling that you can take it to another state in one tank and you don't have to refill it. Now we do have the Apple CarPlay integrated right here. We can go in and check that out right here. You see we have the CarPlay map and all of that. Wireless Apple CarPlay, great to see it. You also have, if you don't have that and you still want to have the map, you still have Google Maps for the touring trim for Honda Accord, and it's extremely responsive, super easy to just fiddle around with that. You also have a secondary screen here, which you can have some other information on. Not sure if you can see it because it looks pretty dark on the screen here, but hopefully you can see that. Beautifully done. We also have some settings in here for the vehicle settings. For example, going in and checking this out, head-up display and the driver assist systems. For example, you can switch that up here. Climate control settings. We can also go in and check out the power flow, how the power comes from the battery, the engine, what goes on. You also have the range here in this beautiful graphics, and you have the battery charge there as well. Tiny little volume knob. Located in a pretty weird location, but you have it right there. Then you have this horizontal layout for the new Hondas, which I love to see. Creates a very elegant looking interior design that sort of brings in the exterior elegance into the interior here as well with the gloss black. You have the vent situation located right here, how you adjust them where you want the air to blow out from, obviously. But the good news is we have first of all, heated and ventilated seats in a Honda Accord for $40,000. Great level of equipment for this vehicle, but you also have these illuminated, you see this LED that goes around the knobs. Details like that is just beautiful to see, and it has a nice click sound to it. Sounds good. You have the airflow right here with some small displays inside. If you press it, you turn on and off the climate system. Love to see these small details, small integrations of the screens in here, for example. And you also have this button right here where you want the air to blow out from. You just click that mode. You can see it changes where you want the air to funnel out from. All the way down low here we have two USB-Cs. You have the wireless charging pad located right here in its rubberized material, and we have the gear selector here as well, putting it into drive like that, into reverse. This is probably something they should update because the graininess of the reverse camera is on a different level when it comes to Honda right here. It's very grainy, very pixelated, but you're still gonna see your big Escalade behind you. Of course, you don't reverse into them. You do have trajectory lines, as you can see right there as well. It's everything I personally need. I don't need a high resolution backup camera, but at the same time, it's 2025. We could at least get a 1080p version of the rear camera or something like that. Putting it back into park, of course, we have the drive modes right here. Couple of them. We have Econ, Normal, Sport, and Individual. I like to keep it just for cruising in Econ, just to get the most range out of this vehicle. You have this E button right here, so if you want to go into full EV mode, you can press this one. Parking brake right there. Two cup holders. This is what the key looks like right here. Typical Honda key that you've probably seen before. You have lock, unlock, remote start, open the trunk, and panic button, and you have the Honda logo right there on the back, looking pretty cool looking key. And not a huge fan of this gloss black because it gets very dirty, very quick. Would want to have a different type of material for this area, but I do like that we have leather wrapped center console right here, looking very beautiful. This armrest, I don't know if you can see it, but it's extremely cushy, super soft armrest. You can open it up, of course, reveals some more storage underneath there, in addition to a 12-volt cigarette outlet in the front. So let's close this back down. Extremely comfortable to just rest your elbow here because it has a lot of padding to it. Now looking at the seat design, pretty standard looking seats to me. You do have plenty of bolstering. You don't need more than that in a car with this type of power and handling, but you can see the ventilation here in the middle, and these are of course heated and ventilated like we talked about. Now this does not come with a full panoramic sunroof, something I personally do not care one bit about. You do have a standard size sunroof up top. Looking at the steering wheel, you do have paddles for this, but since this is CVT, they actually serve a purpose in this vehicle. You have the regen braking up or down, how much region braking you want, that is how you, what you control with the pedals. I like to keep it in full region, and it almost gives you one pedal driving with this. Driving this vehicle actually feels almost like an EV. It's more like an EV than an internal combustion engine to me, and I don't mind that because I still have the possibility to just fill up real quick in 5 minutes and get my 500 miles of range instead of having to sit for 30 to 40 minutes and fill it up in an EV station. So here you have, again, you can see how the power flows now when the engine turned on. You can see it's coming back from the engine there. Power shooting back, even though this is a front wheel drive vehicle. Now look at the steering wheel design. Again, beautiful laid out. I like the design of this. It's very simple. Honda logo in the middle. Cruise control settings right here, and you have the voice command and volume controls right here on the left side, with the heated steering wheel button located in a very peculiar position all the way down low in the third spoke. We have the indicator stock on the left side, obviously, and we have the washer stock right here on the right side, in addition to an additional vent here on the left side of the steering wheel. And that is pretty much it for the front end design of the Honda Accord. Beautifully laid out. There's nothing crazy complicated about this design or the functionality of it, even though the tech underneath all of this is pretty advanced. But let's jump in and have a look at the rear seats and see if I can fit behind my own driving position. I haven't been back here yet, and this is Honda's biggest sedan at the moment. And you can see that I'm probably gonna fit pretty well there. You can see all the leg space that we have right there. Similar door design to what we have, door panel design to what we have in the front end, with this beautifully very organic looking door handle for the Accord. You have heated seats in 3 different levels back here as well. I mean, Honda just crushing it with the level of equipment you get here. Cup holder down there. Let's jump in, check this out. 2 more USBs all the way down here, in addition to some more vents. And if we fold down the center armrest, you are going to find yourself 2 cup holders right there, and the space is pretty good. I mean, it's better than I thought. I mean, I don't have any problems with the leg space. Head space is decent as well, even though we do have this almost Audi A7 like roofline. Don't have any problems at all with that. So with that said, we talked about the exterior design, the interior design, and now it's time to take this for a drive. Alrighty guys, let's take the 2025 Honda Accord Hybrid for a drive. Under the hood, we do have the 2-liter inline 4, 204 horsepower. Might not sound like a lot today. 204 horsepower sounds pretty weak, but the thing is, it still has 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. And honestly, in this car, I don't feel like I need more power. It feels like they are using the horsepower efficiently in the Accord. 204 horsepower is definitely enough for me. 247 pound-feet of torque. Now, you do have 2 e-motors in this, and one of them are controlling or recharging the battery, the 1.1 kilowatt hour battery. And the second e-motor is adding some propulsion to the vehicle, in addition to the 2-liter inline 4, of course. So very complex technology underneath. The thing about this, though, I mean, why is this not offered with all-wheel drive? That would be my only reason to not go with this Accord if I was in the market for this. Oh, look at this. We have a deer right there. Can you see it? Hey friend, how's it going? He lost? I don't think he's lost. It's probably his home. We have another one up there. Very cool. One of the reasons I really like Colorado, you see wildlife everywhere. What was he talking about? The all-wheel drive system. You have, in the competitors, pretty much all of them offer all-wheel drive, but not the Accord for some reason. Not sure why. They could have just, it would make sense to just slap the powertrain from the CR-V, which has a very similar powertrain to this. Just take the all-wheel drive system from that one and put it into this one, and you have a perfect all year-round sedan that looks beautiful on the outside, and also the interior looks great. Don't really have any complaints about the interior. I think the screen is better looking than what we have in Toyotas, where you have the big gloss plastic framing around every single Toyota product. Definitely prefer this with a thinner frame going around it. And you have wireless Apple CarPlay, heated ventilated seats. You have heated seats in 3 different levels for the passengers. All of that for under $41,000. I mean, to me, and a range, of course, of over 550 miles. Your fuel economy, 46 city and 41 highway. The reason it's better in the city is because we have this EV drive, and when you go regen back and forth, stop and go, it regens the battery, it recharges the battery, of course, giving you more range in the city than it does on the highway. And it's so fuel efficient, this thing. When I came home this morning from playing tennis like 20 miles away, I took this, I drove this out there, and I averaged 46 mpgs coming back home. I mean, that is great. That is just fantastic. That is what I want to see in most day-to-day cars like this is, you know, just when you go for, when you just want to take it from point A to point B, and we don't need 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, something like that. The key things that matters to me are fuel economy, and also I just wish it came with all-wheel drive. That is the only thing that I would want to see this have that it doesn't have. So we're coming out to this main road right here. I'm actually gonna put it in, let's put it in sport right there, and let's see if it does any difference. So I can't use the paddles because we do have a CVT gearbox. Thing about this CVT though, usually it sounds like a rabid, I don't know what, when you're just driving a CVT. It's so loud and revs at like 5,000 RPM at all times. That is the reason why I can't stand CVTs usually. But in this case, it's a very calm CVT. It feels almost like a regular gearbox. Then you step it on it. You can hear that it sounds like it's shifting. Not sure what it actually does because it is a CVT, but it has these levels of RPM, so it's not just like a scooter. When you're, you know, flooring a scooter, it just revs and revs and revs, and you just continue to accelerate. Here, you actually have some simulated, I guess, gear shifts in this, which makes it feel like a much more relaxing drive, and it doesn't scream at you all the time like we have in a lot of other CVs. But this one is actually great to drive. It feels great, and as I said, I don't necessarily feel like I need more power than this. It's definitely not the fastest vehicle out there with 204 horsepower, but honestly, for a Honda Accord like this, I don't care. For me, this is a great commuter car, just going from point A to point B, daily commute. If you live in the city specifically, you're gonna get even better fuel economy than if you're cruising on the highway back and forth to work. So that in combination with the exterior design that we have, the refresh that they made, I don't know about you. I want to hear your opinion. Do you think the old Accord? I did love the wheels of the old Accord. You know, those almost propeller turbine-like wheels. I think they were 5-spoke, if I'm not mistaken. They were not directional though. That is something you don't get unless you buy like a $500,000 supercar. By directional, I mean that they were spinning in the right direction from one side, and they were spinning backwards on the other side, which is pretty. Once you see that, it's very hard to unsee when you don't have directional wheels, specifically on a propeller design like the old Accord had. Now, do I feel like this needs a sport drive mode? No, I don't. I would just have it in econ pretty much every single time I would be driving this. I don't feel like it's sporty enough to have a sport button. It just doesn't feel like it's part of its personality to be sporty. But overall, how do we sum up the Honda Accord for 2025, the hybrid version? As I said, I mean, if you're looking for a beautiful looking sedan, which we rarely get these days, sedans are becoming less and less. You know, everybody, a lot of car manufacturers are ditching sedans altogether, which is a shame. I love sedans. It's one of my favorite packages of cars because they just feel elegant. They have beautiful proportions to them. So if you're looking for a beautiful sedan with fantastic fuel economy, great price, and great features for the price as well, the Honda Accord is a great option, unless you really need all-wheel drive. For example, if you live right here in Colorado, that would be a deal breaker for me. Specifically winter time, you really want to have all-wheel drive. So that is something you need to consider if you're in the market for one of these, for a sedan in this segment. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.